Hello everyone, welcome to Trade and FX Africa Fundamental Market Outlook for Thursday, 15th of September 2022. The Japanese trade balance has been below zero since September 2021. However, the consensus is expecting it to decrease from minus 1,433.9 billion to minus 2,398.2 billion. A higher than expected reading will be positive for the yen. Also, the Japanese exports year over year had significantly increased from 15.8% in May to above 19% in June and July. It is still expected to increase to 23.6% according to consensus. A higher than expected figure will be good for the Japanese economy. As an important indicator of consumer spending, the Australian employment change for July slumped to minus 40.9 thousand with a forecast of 25,000. The forecast is expected to be at a positive 35,000. A higher than expected figure will be good for the Aussie. The Australian full employment change has been positive since February this year, but dipped in July to minus 86.9 thousand. Let's see if the August figure will be good for the Aussie. The Australian unemployment rate has been dropping since its peak in August 2020. It has declined so far to a low of 3.4%. The consensus are expecting the unemployment rate to remain the same as 3.4%. The Japanese Tertiary Industry Activity Index had its highest peak of 1.3%. The previous figure was at minus 0.2%, and the consensus is expecting it to rise to minus 0.1%. A higher than expected figure will be positive for the yen. As the German Bundesbank Bubamodera speaks on the German economy, we expect volatility across all euro pairs. The Eurozone's trade balance has been in negative territory since January this year. It had minus 24.6 billion last month. The consensus is expecting an increase to minus 20 billion. If the actual figure is higher than the forecast, it will be good for the euro. The US core retail sales month over month for August is an important indicator of consumer spending, which had a previous figure of 0.4% and the consensus figure of 0.1%. The US core retail sales, which is an important indicator of consumer spending, had a previous figure of 0.4% and a consensus figure of 0.1%. A higher than expected figure is positive for the dollar. The US retail sales month over month for July was 0%. The consensus figure for August is expected by consensus to increase to 0.2%. A higher than expected figure will be bullish for the dollar. Speeches by the Vice President of the European Central Bank, Luis de Guindos, and European Central Bank's board member, Elizabeth McCall, are expected to increase volatility across all euro pairs. The US initial jobless claims had been positive since second week of August. It means that a lot of Americans are gaining employment despite the high inflation. The previous figure was 222,000, while the consensus are expecting an increase to 226,000. A higher than expected figure will be bad for the dollar. New Zealand's Purchasing Managers Index had been indicating expansion in the manufacturing sector and production growth in July and August. If the actual figure remains above 50 and above the consensus figure, it will be good for the Kiwi. That's all for now. See you again next time.